Alright, Z Broly. A quick way that I would sum him up is if you gave Juggernaut from any game from the Marvel vs. Capcom series and you gave Juggernaut better mobility and gave him, well, better everything, better mobility, better normals, better combos, and actually gave him unblockable command grabs. Where in terms of variety, technically Android 16 and S Broly have more command grabs for a variety of situations, where Z Broly only has two, which is Gigantic Claw and Gigantic. What is it? Because everything with this guy is almost gigantic. Well, not Larry Express. Gigantic Claw and Gigantic Strike. And there's his Powered Shell, although for me personally, I don't know about other people, but I don't use Powered Shell that much since it goes away almost as quickly as you activate it. Where its main use is countering projectiles. I can't remember if they actually did an update where it counters normals as well, but it does at least counter or shield you from projectiles from assists, because that's something it originally did not do. Not to mention, when the game originally came out, Eraser Cannon only had one version. You only had that version of Eraser Cannon, where if you wanted to combo into it, you'd have to be very close. Otherwise, you're very open. But then they did an update where you press the right trigger button, and from what I remember, that's less damage. So there's 2,000. Yeah, 2,400. So 400 more damage. So that was pretty neat of them to do that. So again, I want to say, well, you can say almost everyone in Dragon Ball FighterZ has great mobility simply because that's just the mechanic of the game. Because that's Dragon Ball. Even big dudes like Broly being over 8 feet tall at his maximum height is still able to move ridiculously fast. They have stuff like dashing, air dash, super dash it is. And just about everyone having back and forward air dash. Grapplers like Zangief wish they would have something like this. And some pretty basic straightforward combos. So that's kind of cool how his air heavy, it becomes, if you do his down heavy on the ground, go for a launcher, then air heavy becomes it has a grab animation. Though that doesn't really do much, but it still brings the opponent down to the ground. Otherwise, he'll just smack them to the ground regularly. So quarter circle back and attack. Gigantic Claw. A very good command grab overall. Light version doesn't have, maybe not the best range, but it does slide forward ever slightly. But its main thing is how quick it is. Then there's the medium version. More startup, but more range. Wait. There we go. Not to mention you can combo after it. Another cool thing about Broly that I also just forgot to mention actually is his light auto combo, which has a grab in it. In fact, let me set the opponent to block. So unfortunately, you can't delay it. Like, wait, can Android 16 still do that? delay his auto guard. It's been a while since I checked.
Praise me.
Or not auto guard, auto combo. So yeah, you're not gonna be able to grab the opponent out of it.
Praise me.
But you can throw the first two out, and if the opponent is still if they're still guarding or trying to guard, grab them all of a sudden and go for a combo that way. Okay, let me switch to someone less annoying. Or you can use his command grabs. Mainly, you're gonna be using medium and heavy. Cause light, it doesn't do a wall bounce. And unfortunately, no assist doesn't work. In fact, I don't think there's any assist in this game that hits OTG anyway. So light you'll mostly want to be using for breaking the opponent's guard. And for catching them in the middle of a block string. Like throw out a couple of lights. And now heavy just makes comboing afterwards easier. That's mainly what heavy is. Same as medium, but more range and better combo follow-up. Ah, dang, I missed. Unfortunately, whether if it's medium or heavy, it ends up using your smash, so you won't be able to do your usual combo route from down heavy or your light auto combo. But what's great about it is with the medium, you can actually cancel into it from any of his medium attacks. Or even light, and it'll go through. So you just want to try to alternate between the two. Don't make yourself too predictable. Just know that doing so with medium or heavy, and if you're not in the corner, then you're gonna have to try to make your way back in. Which is not too bad, because Z really has some pretty great projectiles for that. His standard key blasts, and they're pretty big too, so maneuvering around them isn't as easy as you may think. Same thing with the air version. Like the fact that I did all that from just one jump. And that's the cool thing about his key blast, is that I could do a jump forward and technically he would still carry that momentum during that whole arc. He'll still go up and forward towards the opponent. And then there's his quarter circle forward S, or key button, which is, what's this one called? Eraser blow. Anyways, for what I remember with this one, it's supposed to be safe on block. Pushes the opponent a distance from you while keeping them in block stun. And that's the neat thing about it. You could use it to make certain block strings safe, and then either use your assist to cover you, or do all that. Wait a minute.
It's useless.
So do whatever you want afterwards, because they might try to use an assist to try to punish you after they blocked the projectile. But you can either throw out an assist to counter that, use powered shell in case their assist is some kind of projectile, or try to go for a command grab, or dash in on them again. And if you're quickly, try to use your heavy command grab. So that's one of the things that separates Broly from... Oh, here we go. That's one of the things that separates Z Broly from not only the other grapplers in this game, but grapplers in general in most games. Because you don't really see a lot of grapplers who, in addition to being able to grapple well, also have some amazing zoning. I've seen other people describe Z Broly as one of the best zoners in the game. That's kind of crazy to think about. A grappler being one of the best zoners in a game like this. Even compared to other characters that are meant to be more dedicated to the zoning archetype like Frieza and Zamasu. So that gives you multiple options on how to play Z Broly. A zoner to harass them with projectiles, or as a grappler with your amazing command grab, which you can combo afterwards, even with his light auto combo, which has a grab. Or as a rush down, because almost every normal has... Actually, if I remember, I think even his light attacks have a certain number of armor, but all of his normals have at least one head of armor. Actually, one more move I want to talk about real quick is his air grab, which on its own you may not use it as much, but one cool thing is how you could do the so-called tiger knee motion, which is basically a quarter circle then up, whatever, up directional motion, like quarter circle forward then up forward, or quarter circle back then up back, and you can get his gigantic claw without having to basically it just makes it easier to do it almost instantly. Especially if you got an opponent who's staying in the air too much. So light doesn't use up your smash, whereas medium does. Unfortunately, you can't use it multiple times. But even stuff like his standing light has some great range, horizontal and vertical. But that's on either big or medium or average size opponents. Smaller opponents like Krillin, GT Goku, small guys like that, it definitely will go under. And crouching light does not really have that great range. Like, that's some crazy range for a light attack. In fact, out of all the characters in this game, well, both Brolys I use their light auto combos to harass the opponent with the most. And now, as far as what makes Broly, that so-called Juggernaut style character, and one of my favorite special moves in the whole game, his quarter circle back, no, not quarter circle back, quarter circle forward, light, medium, or heavy, Lariat Express. From what I remember, all Lariat Express have up to 10 points of armor, making it, if I'm not mistaken, it's the most armored move in the game. Not even just for Z Broly's moveset, but just in the whole game, the move with the most armor. With light being so quick that it's not likely that your opponent's going to be able to break through all that armor. That's why most people will wait for you to do the move, throw it out, and block it instead. Because definitely if they can block or dodge it, you're going to be left open for quite a bit. So light version, nothing really too special, just hits your opponent away. Comes out the fastest, but has the least range. But still, the fact that it's so quick, you can almost throw it out suddenly without your opponent being able to anticipate all the time. But you still want to be careful. But if you want to get your opponent away from you, so you can set up Broly's zoning game, then by all means, go ahead. And then you have the medium version, which is the one I see people playing online throw out the most. So it has more startup, but goes full screen and carries the opponent to the corner. So if you get your back to the corner, your opponent's being a bit reckless. Boom, now they're in the corner. Unfortunately, because of how much startup, you're not going to combo into it naturally unless you cancel into it after immediately activating your Sparking Blast in the middle of a combo. So like this. Or with an assist. People like Jiren and Yamcha having great assists for that. And then there's Heavy. Heavy comes out pretty fast like Light, but still has that multiple hits of armor and carries the opponent to the other side of the screen, just like Medium. So it's slightly slower, or at least comes out slightly, like just a little slightly more than Light. Light's almost instantaneous. Heavy is only like, I don't think I can emphasize just how quick it is, to the point where you can also naturally combo into it as well. So that's what Medium's for. If you want the benefits of having a Lariat Express that comes out quickly like Light, but carries the opponent all the way to the corner like Medium, and you don't want to do something like spinning an assist or going into Sparking Blast just to combo into it, that's what you use Heavy for. In fact, Heavy can combo into both versions of Broly's level 3. What's the level 3 called? Gigantic Meteor. And what's cool is that Broly is one of the few characters that I know of where you can actually combo into his level 3 twice, because there's two different versions of them and they're both considered distinct. So you have the standard level 3, not the fastest, but not the slowest either. It's definitely not slow like base form Goku's Spirit Bomb. And then there's the extra level 3. At least I call it extra. So yeah, it comes out as a small ball and moves slowly, but you start it And you can get a combo afterwards. And you can even combo into it.
I'll put you out of your misery.
That was with medium, express, and heavy. Now I can't remember. Can you do it from command grab? Let me see.
Out of my way. Here's a present for you. That was lucky.
Nope, unfortunately you can't. Hmm.
Here's a present for you.
Well, you can from his heavy command grab.
Here's a present for you.
So one of the coolest things is how you could rack up so much damage with if you use his special moves and his level 3s in a, I want to call perfect sort of a perfect sequence, something kind of like this.
Here's a present for you.
Dang it, I missed.
Here's a present for you.
What am I doing wrong?
Here's a present for you. Here's a present for you. I am unbeatable.
Yeah, a good huge chunk of their health. So if they have like less than 50 health, unless they have something like Sparking Blast activated, then no doubt they're gonna die. But just the sheer number of meter I had to use in that instance. That's like the only real downside to it, is just how much meter it costs.
Here's a present for you. Here's a present for you. I am unbeatable.
So, in my opinion, as far as playing Broly, I think he can be played just about any position. Now, definitely a lot of people say that because of the way his combos work, because his down heavy in the air is a stomp. Kind of like what Gohan has, only his actually hits the opponent on the way down. And you can combo into it, but usually because of the range, you can usually only combo into it from in the corner, and it brings the opponent down to the ground quickly. Unlike his regular air heavy after smash, which it'll bring the opponent to the ground, but they'll kind of bounce away a bit. Which does give you options, so you can use down heavy in the corner so that they don't really have the chance to just tech up like or recover in the air. Whoops. Not to mention you could combo into the what was it? Right bumper? Yeah, right bumper version or R1 version of his eraser cannon. Whereas usually, as far as comboing after his air heavy, when he slams them face first into the ground, for something like that, it's either... Oh, that was weird. either use the meter for a vanish attack
Transparent.
or call an assist.
That was lucky.
So Jiro was able to hit, but I missed with Yamcha.
Give me your best.
So yeah, certain assists, even good ones like Yamcha, you want to delay it a bit. So Broly can be used as a good point character with his... Well, he's very versatile. Again, moves that allows him to rush in on the opponent. Like his projectile when used up close.
Give me your best.
His lariat.
That was lucky.
Or zone with quarter circle for S. Use at a distance.
That was lucky.
Because it has some great durability. It can actually cancel out a lot of projectiles, even ones that hit multiple times, despite this one only hitting once. So you'd be amazed by how many projectile wars you can win with Broly. Not to mention his standard key blast. Same thing in the air. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot. Man, there's a lot of stuff that I'm just now remembering myself playing Broly. Is his ability to aim his key blast. If the dang game would just let me. So yeah, you can fire a couple of them forward, or change the, yeah, you can change the trajectory between forward towards the opponent or up in the air, like in case they keep jumping from a distance. Although I'm pressing up, forward, or even up, but I think that's just more of an issue on my end. Just gotta get good. Yeah, kind of like that. So zoning, rushing, grappling, Broly's pretty good at it. Maybe not the best out of each category, except again from the times I've seen people describe him as one of the best zoners, which is still just crazy to think about. Like, how many games can you think of where you have someone who they're mainly meant to be a grappler, or one of their specialties is being a grappler, but they're also referred to as one of the best zoners? Like, you have people who hate grapplers so much, man. Have a character like Broly, that's nightmare fuel for them. Considering just how many grapplers would be able to, go up the tier systems in whatever fighting game if they had a good projectile to compete with the more projectile reliant types. Not to mention you have good assists like Jiren and Yamcha, which can lead to some pretty cool combos right there. Whoops. So for his command grabs, especially the medium, or his medium command grab and Lariat Express, basic ones like Jiren and Yamcha, among others, like a few beam assist, any others, because it's not always going to be a matter of just using him to combo into his special moves, especially any ones that have a good amount of startup. But just technically it's something you see as an extension of his zoning.
Give me your best. Stay out of my way.
Because that's one way to look at certain assists like Jiren and Yamcha.
Stay out of my way.
Just extra moves to use to keep the opponent out. Where you have all that horizontal range in front of you to keep them from getting in. The number of people you can annoy with that. Yeah, you're gonna give a lot of people headaches trying to do that. And now a lot of people say he can't really be used as an anchor that well because he doesn't really have that many ways to continue or keep his combos going. But I usually think so. Otherwise. The number of times in which I've been playing online and I've been reduced down to my last character being Z Broly, and I was able to win matches with him. Cause, well, with any character, but especially someone like Z Broly, you got to be very careful, because if he's by himself, then yeah, no assist, no one to call in if he's too low on health, and you got to be patient. But if he has something like Sparking Blast active, then go level 3 Sparking Blast with Broly, you absolutely would be a menace on the battlefield. So point, mid, or anchor, I say Broly can play any position. It's just that if you play anchor with him, you got to be very careful if you don't have any Sparking Blast active. Just gotta be patient. Because in my experience, a lot of people tend to get more reckless towards me when I have Z Broly as the last one, because they figure a big character like that, easy to do combos on. And not to mention, he's by himself, so maybe not the best when it comes to combos or trying to rush down. So a lot of people I played against got real reckless towards the end. And that's how I'm able to make my, what I call miracle comebacks. But if you have Sparking Blast active, then yeah, you can get a bit more reckless, rack up some insane damage. So that's something you want to, if you want to play Anchor Broly, then try your best to save your Sparking Blast and try to get as much meter towards the end as possible. Other than that, I really don't have anything else to say about Z Broly. He's just such a fun character to play. Not as many throws or types of throws like Android 16 and S Broly, who have anti-air and ground throws for different situations that you can use on the ground or in the air. Like Android 16 has his regular command grab that slams the opponent into the ground but keeps them close to you, or his medium, which has him rush forward, grab the opponent and throw them so he can go, I was about to say combo afterwards, but usually that requires using a vanish. And then you have S Broly, who definitely has the most command grabs in the game, or the most unique grabs. But Z Broly is an example of, you don't need to give your grappler that many grabs. Just one or two, make them very good. Because out of all of his special moves, I want to, well, like I said, his command grab is one of my favorites in the game. His ground grab. I don't think I've ever tried using the tiger knee motion to grab opponents out of the air like that. I mainly use it for indie combos. And just the sheer amount of damage you can rack up if you use one of his level 3s, the delayed one. If you learn to use that properly, because some people I will see in block streams with it as a way of, because it racks up so much block damage, or no, I meant to say chip damage. That's what it's called. Which for me personally, I don't like the idea of using a level 3 to rack up chip damage, but I've seen other people do so. So they'll use it, go for the chip damage, And they can go from there.
That was lucky.
And so many moves that could be made safe on block if you have the right assist, or even if you don't have an assist. His quarter circle forward S. I gotta remember the name of these moves. Eraser blow.
Oh.
And one thing I see other people say about one of his moves, his standing heavy punch, is, well, for one, the deceptive range on it. Yeah, it really not only does it have good range, but moves him forward pretty quickly, and you can delay it, which actually increases the range how far he goes. I almost hit him from that far. Now, one thing people say is how it almost looks like the same startup animation as his command grab. And I tried doing that using standing heavy in place of his command grab to deceive the opponent, but it hasn't really worked out for me. But that's just from my experience. So he's a grappler with great zoning and normals that have deceptive range that push him forward so far. And you can still do standing heavy into his command grab. So you can hold it, your opponent sees you getting ready to do standing heavy and thinks, oh, I'm just gonna block it. Quickly cancel into his command grab. Same thing with heavy. Or delay it, wait a bit, and then go for his light. It's like, man, stuff like this is part of what makes Z Broly not just one of my favorite characters in this game, but one of my favorite designs for a grappler ever. Almost every move having armor, being able to counter zoners while being a zoner himself, a command grab which, yeah, again, he has the least command grabs, having only 2 compared to Android 16, who has, what is it, 3, and then S Broly. I'm trying to remember, how many does S Broly have? I can't remember exactly, but anyways, the point is Z Broly has only 2 command grabs and a grab at the end of his auto combo, which, like so many of his normals, has deceptive range, but they all serve a purpose and can be used so effectively. So in some situations you can be a little reckless with Z Broly, but if you decide to play him smart the whole time, man, you will get so many great results, which in the end makes Z Broly the best grappler in the whole game, as well as one of the most well-designed grapplers. Well balanced? I don't know. I ain't over here trying to talk about how balanced these characters are. I'm just talking about how fun they are. And Z Broly is, to me, the most fun. Cause, yeah, I like grapplers having a lot of throws in their moveset, but if you have someone like Android 16, where almost all of their special moves is just throws, and then any other move they have, be a projectile or a strike, if they even have that at all. So yeah, almost all grabs or all strike throws, like strikes that lead into grab animations, usually doesn't really help a grappler. At least 1 or 2 special moves that are strikes and that are very good, have good range. I say every grappler who has that makes them more versatile, because trying to constantly go for a command throw every single time, that's really, it's not going to help you. You just become too predictable. Z Broly is that type of grappler where because of the different roles he can play in different ways, he is very, very unpredictable. In fact, next time I hop online with this game, I'm gonna check out the tier list, see how high up the tier list Z Broly is. Cause last time I checked, he's gotta be a much higher tier than 16 and S Broly. But enough of me being such a kiss ass about how great of a character, and especially a grappler, Z Broly is, because I'm pretty sure I gave enough of that idea. So I don't know who the next grappler in the next game I'm going to talk about, because I already covered S Broly in 16 about a couple years back. But definitely I want to get back into doing this on the regular again, because talking about grapplers being my favorite types of characters in any fighting game, 2D or 3D, being my specialty, they're just so much fun to go over and talk about. So I hope you guys got a little something out of this video or just enjoyed it. And other than that, y'all have a good day. Good day, good evening, good night, whichever, whenever, wherever. Good night.